Hello, my name is Alejandra Ramirez, and today I'll be presenting my solid waste pollution presentation. So what is solid waste pollution? So solid waste pollution is basically when there's an excessive amount of waste in our land, such as in the air, in the soil, in the water, and it's just too much that is going to eventually cause a lot of negative effects. And the reason why this is happening is because of humans. So, where based on where people live, usually people would eventually start using things, and this will cause them to not throw it away somewhere properly. And solid waste can be formed in many ways, not just solid. It can also be in liquid and as well in solid and liquid, which this will vary depending where they found the waste and what people usually use there at that place. So, what is municipal solid waste? So, the first type of waste is called the municipal waste. This type of waste is by items that are being used every day by humans, such as at our house, where we use bottles, we use newspapers, applicants, food scraps. And here I have an example of pictures of items that we use in everyday life. So, which is coming from homes that are people using, and they're also being used by commercials and in industrial waste. In the United States, in the year 2018, there has been 292 million tons of waste, which in the world there has been 2.01 billion tons of this type of waste. What is an industrial waste? Industrial solid waste is usually being caused by the activities of factors and mills and mines, which there are two types of waste, which are the non-hazardous and the hazardous. And which this means non-hazardous, it's like not harming people, while hazardous means that it's harming people in a toxin way, which can cause sickness and death. The non-hazardous are not threats to the public, which these are plastics, rocks, and glass, etc. While hazardous waste is a toxic material that can cause harm to people's health. Non-hazardous waste, though, has been increasing more than the hazardous waste. This type of waste can be solid, liquid, and gas form. What are some reasons why solid waste pollution has occurred? So, like I said, that we are the reasons why solid waste pollution has continued to happen. As the increasement of our population increase even more, so does waste. This has become an urban issue because when humans use items, they do not throw them away properly. Also, those who are wealthy use these items on a regular basis, which these increase the discard of the products. Technology has an impact on this because when people receive packages, which there is no way they can return them because of the new policies, such as if it comes with an item that may be plastic and you want to return your item, the policy would not let you do so. So you would just throw it away. And usually it won't be thrown away in a trash can. It would just be left out and it can be in the ground. And that's how the increasement of this solid pollution will continue to happen. Which most of this plastic, which has made an impact on the increasement of solid waste pollution. So the plastic is one of the most increasement out of all of them, all of the items that has been more. So how does this affect our health? When there's solid waste in the roads, this can cause for an increase of rats, mosquitoes, and cockroaches, which these types of rodents can cause malaria, dengue, and food poisoning. Having contact with solid waste can cause skin irritation and blood infection. When there are storms, these wastes will go into the water, which people use the water, and this can cause a health risk for people to end up getting this disease called la cholera. People that live closer to landfills also may inhale toxins like hydrogen sulfide. What is a hazardous waste? As we continue to talk about this, this comes from the industrial. This is where we're mostly going to be finding them. And this can be substance like chemicals, flammable waste, and this is coming where they're using in the industrial. So we have a picture right here where we can see gas and we can see the oil spillings and we can see that it gets on the plants. Like it doesn't just affect the people, but also plants and animals as well. Chemical is one of the ways that cannot be broken down, and it is found in liquid, solid, and gas, which this can be found in hospitals. Medical waste can also be found there, and there has been 5.9 million tons of it. Electronic waste has increased up to 53.6 million metric ton in 2019. This contains mercury and lead, which is very toxic to humans, and this is usually found in businesses. So what are some short-term effects of hazardous waste? The danger in the water pollution will end up happening when it comes to hazardous waste. And the chemicals will go into the waterways such as rivers, lakes, and streams, which this can be used on a daily basis when it comes to humans. This will cause for us not to be able to drink the water and to use it, such as we go to the ocean and we want to go for a swim. We can't get into the water because that can cause us to have a skin reaction or something. Not only will humans be affected, but also animals and plants that drink from this water will end up dying. What are some long-term effects? Some of the long-term effects will be signs of mutations when it comes to animals. Cancer and diseases will occur to humans, and there will be trash in the water and green spaces. Also, the population of insects will decrease as they begin to die, and the chemical spills will go into the soil, which this will stop the process of plant growth. Other types of chemical spills will form, which this will cause children to be sick, which will give them seizures, cancers, poisoning, and even death. How does the environment get affected? First of all, because of the poor solid waste management, this can cause the spread of hazardous microorganisms and disagreeable scents that will cause effect in the air pollution. The way the air will be affected is by the smoke particles, and when it comes to land pollution, is being affected by the improper waste disposal. Land pollution can be when people are littering in the streets and roadsides, like how we have here. There's a lot of trash on the road, on the side of the road, and this is not good. And there will be also spills of oil, people dumping natural environment, which is illegal to do, and unsustainable logging operations. As we continue, we have another picture here, how there's such a cause of this type of pollution when it comes to the beach. As we have here a picture of so much trash in the water at the beach, and this is because people leave their plastic bags or their nets and they don't put them in a trash can. This type of waste can be harmful for marine animals and plants because this waste is usually on the land and in the water, which the plastic pollution will remain on the soil for thousands of years. Also, when it comes to the discharge from ships and boats, this can affect the ocean as well because it has trash. When trash is not being thrown away properly, it will reach to the beach because of the storm drains or the streams which this flows into the ocean. What is methane gas? Methane gas is a component of natural gas, which this is being known for greenhouse gas. This is going to affect the Earth's atmosphere, the Earth's temperature, the climate system, because with this is going to increase the heat of Earth. Methane is more than 25 times as the potent of the carbon dioxide, which means it's more able to trap the heat in the atmosphere. United States is one of the countries that have been involved with methane emissions because they use this for oil, gas systems, livestock formation, and landfills. How does soiled waste contribute with methane gas? Municipal solid waste landfills are one of the largest sources of human related to the methane emissions in the United States. When it comes to the process of municipal solid waste on being disposed in a landfill, it will first go through an anaerobic that comes with the oxygen, which this is the stage that is being decomposed with not as much methane being generated, but then as a year goes by, the anaerobic conditions will establish and it will generate the methane. This has caused methane to double in the last 2 centuries because of the human activity, since methane is powerful greenhouse, which this will affect the atmospheric warming. So is there a law to help stop this? Biden-Harris administration and EPA had announced a $375 million that has to do with the program for recycling, reuse, and waste prevention. This program will help with the pollution and the negative environment and health impact that has happened due to waste. The goal was to be able to spread this management across the country, create good paying jobs, and advance an environmental agenda. Also, this will help on developing different programs such as a solid waste infrastructure for recycling grant programs, recycling education and outreach grant program, modeling recycling program toolkit, and the funding and guidelines for battery collection, recycling, and labeling. How can we prevent solid waste pollution? Each day, Americans produce 4.4 pounds of trash A way where we can prevent is using reusable bottles for beverages and reusable grocery bags. When purchasing an item, it is important to make sure that the packaging can be recycled. You can check the labels to see if it is possible. Also, it is important to check for items that let you compose it to your backyard to be able to do a garden, which this can help you save money and be able to grow your own vegetables. This can help with absorbing more water for your garden, which helps you not waste your actual water. When buying containers and utensils, it is important to keep in mind to use metal ones instead of plastic, because remember, plastic is not good for our environment. This has been one of the most that has increased in our society because how much plastic is being found in land and oceans. How can we prevent solid waste pollution? It is important to buy secondhand items such as places like Goodwill. This can help the environment because eventually those clothes will end up in the landfill and you can help them from happening. Supporting shopping at local farmers markets can give you fresh foods, but also this type of market does not rely on packaging as much. This reduces the packaging waste from happening. Lastly, it's important to use technology more than getting your information through paper, which is why it's better to get a digital subscription from avoiding more paper in the landfill. And here are my works cited. And that is all for my presentation. Thank you.